In this video, we're going to learn about transaction propagation, specifically propagation.required, in Spring Boot. In the last video, we learned about transaction timeout. For this video, let's remove the thread.sleep that we added earlier. Now, if you look at the @transactional annotation, you'll notice another important attribute called propagation. Propagation defines how a transaction behaves when one transactional method calls another transactional method. In simple words, it answers this question: should the method join an existing transaction, or should it start a new one? Spring provides multiple propagation types, and by default it uses propagation.required. In this video, we're going to focus on propagation.required. This is the default propagation type in Spring. Required means if a transaction already exists, the method will join the same transaction. If no transaction exists, Spring will create a new transaction. Because of this behavior, required works well for most business use cases. Let's understand this with a simple example. Suppose we have three methods: Method 1, Method 2, and Method 3. Suppose Method 1 is executed inside a transaction, let's call it T1. Method 2 is executed without any transaction. And Method 3 is configured with propagation.required. What does that mean? Method 3 says, if a transaction already exists, I will use it. If no transaction exists, I will create a new one. Case 1. Method 1 calls Method 3. Method 1 has already created transaction T1. Method 3 checks and sees that a transaction already exists. So, Method 3 joins the same transaction T1. Both methods now execute within the same transaction T1. And Case 2. Method 2 calls Method 3. Method 2 is running without any transaction. Method 3 checks and sees no existing transaction. So, Method 3 creates a new transaction. This is exactly how propagation.required works. It joins an existing transaction if one is already present. Otherwise, it creates a new transaction. And that's exactly what Method 3 is doing in our example. Whether it's called by Method 1 or Method 2, Method 3 behaves correctly based on the transaction context of its caller. Alright, now in the account service, we already have the transfer amount method. To better understand propagation.required, we're going to break this method into two separate parts. One method will handle the debit operation, and the other will handle the credit operation. Both of these methods will be called from the main transfer method. This refactoring will help us clearly see how transactions behave when methods call each other. Let's do this step by step. Follow my screen. First, let's create the debit method. Now let's add the @transactional annotation to this debit method. Along with that, we'll explicitly set the propagation type to propagation.required.
This means,
if this debit method is called inside an existing transaction, it will join that transaction. If no transaction exists, Spring will create a new one. Now let's create the credit method. Just like the debit method, we'll set the propagation type to propagation.required. This means the credit method will join an existing transaction if one already exists, or create a new transaction if it's called independently. So now, both debit and credit methods are configured the same way. So now, what we're going to do is move the orchestration logic into another class. We'll create a new class called Transfer Service. This service will be responsible for calling both methods, the debit method and the credit method. The idea here is to clearly see how propagation.required behaves when one service calls another service. This setup will help us understand whether both methods share the same transaction, or whether a new transaction is created.
create a transfer service class.
Inject the account service into transfer service. Create the transfer amount method. Inside the transfer amount method, we'll first call the debit method. This will deduct the amount from the source account. After that, we'll call the credit method. This will add the amount to the destination account. Now let's add the @transactional annotation to the transfer amount method. So let's understand what's happening here. When the transfer amount method is called, it creates a new transaction because it's annotated with @transactional. Now, inside this method, we call the debit method. The debit method is also configured with propagation.required, so it does not create a new transaction. Instead, it uses the transaction created by transfer amount. Next, we call the credit method. This method is also configured with propagation.required, so it joins the same transaction as well. So in the end,
Transfer amount, debit, credit
are all executing inside the same transaction. This is exactly how propagation.required works. Now let's call this transfer flow from the controller. Now, to test whether the transaction is really joined or not, we're going to throw an exception from the transfer amount method. The idea is simple. If debit and credit are truly part of the same transaction, then throwing an exception here should roll back everything. This will help us verify two things: whether the debit and credit methods joined the same transaction, or whether any part of the transaction was already committed. So I'll throw a runtime exception at the end of transfer amount. If propagation.required is working as expected, none of the database changes should be committed. Let's do this and observe the result. Alright, Now let's start the application.
See in my DB.
Right now, account 1 has a balance of 1,000. Account 2 has a balance of 500. Alright, now let's hit the API. As expected, we got an exception. This exception was thrown intentionally from the transfer amount method. Now the important part is to verify what happened to the database. If propagation.required is working correctly, none of the changes should be committed. See that the values are still the same. Account 1 still has 1,000. Account 2 still has 500. Nothing was committed. This confirms that the debit method, the credit method, and the transfer amount method were all part of the same transaction. When the exception was thrown, the entire transaction was rolled back. This is exactly how propagation.required works. Now let's comment out the exception. This means the transfer amount method will complete normally. Since all methods are using propagation.required and no exception is thrown, the transaction should commit successfully. Both debit and credit changes should be saved. Let's run the same flow again and see what happens. See that we got a success response. See that the amount has been successfully transferred from account 1 to account 2. Account 1 now has 500. Account 2 now has 1,000. This confirms that when no exception is thrown, all methods using propagation.required complete successfully and the transaction is committed. Debit and credit both happened within the same transaction, exactly as expected. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified about the next video. See you in the next one.